All right, so today we need to talk about chaos sorting. It's been all the rage, all the hype. If you're in this trading card business space and you go watch a content creator right now, it has something to do with chaos sorting, sort Swift, yada yada yada, etc. etc. So, for those of you who have been watching my videos, thank you. Um, but you would know about a month ago now, almost to the day, about 28 days ago, I actually switched my inventory to chaos sorting. I used to always alpha sort, and then I started doing this full time. And as a sole person operation with the space I have, alpha sorting just kind of got a little messy. Um, if you watch my previous video that I posted about a month ago, I kind of go into more details as far as how it got messy, why it got messy, so on and so forth. So I kind of want to do an update video now that I'm a month in. How has chaos sorting worked for me? How is the staging process rather, of chaos sorting, um, and what's it called, and how pulling orders is. There you go. Had a little brain fart there. And how the pulling order process is for chaos sorting. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let's talk quickly about, is it just faster than alpha sorting, right? Alpha sorting, I don't got to get into it. You guys know what it is. It's you put your cards A to Z, you sort by set, and then that's it. An order comes in, you pull the card from that set in the alphabetical order, and there you go. So let's discuss the pros and cons of alpha sorting. The pros of alpha sorting are, one, you know where every card is within a set and pretty much exactly where it is, right? If the card starts with A, you know it's in the front. If it starts with Z, it's in the back. If it starts with, I don't know, I or K, it's in the middle somewhere, right? Very simple, very easy to follow. It's also very easy to teach somebody. And this is a big topic why I'm gonna bring up in chaos sorting, because the truthful answer is, if you're gonna just ask me, Paul, get to the point. What is better, chaos sorting or A to Z alpha sorting? It depends. I know, fantastic answer, right? Everybody wants to hear that. It depends, but it does. It depends on a lot of factors, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But A to Z, yes, it is a more concrete, to the point. Hey, the card is here. It's a lot easier to train somebody if you are going to make this a gigantic business, your full-time thing, and you're going to hire people that, let's say, like, know nothing about any TCGs, regardless, Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Lorcana, etc., etc. Like, they know A to Z. Like, you'd be like, okay, yeah, put these cards in alphabetical order. They don't need to know rarities. They don't need to know nothing. It's just simply alphabetizing, right? Now, that is a major pro with alpha sorting. So, what is the major con? Well, major con with alpha sorting, at least for me personally, from my experience, is if I get in a brand new set of product that I did not previously have, um, or it's a brand new release of a product, I have to now zipper. It's called zippering, right? You're gonna zipper in the cards. You got to move everything out from the prior sets and the futures and the forward sets, right? So if you have a set that starts with the letter B or something, right? You got to move all the A's, you got to push back, all the C's and stuff forward, you got to push forward, and you got to slot the B's in, right? In this case, and you could use this for any letter. I'm just giving an example. Um, Eventually, you run into what I was running into, is kind of a space constraint, right? Now, part of this is, and again, that's what I'm going to go into. It really depends how you're running your TCG business. It depends how you are listing your inventory and what you carry, right? Me personally, I list every card, not literally. Um, I list every card, but up to a certain quantity, right? For me, that quantity currently is 30 copies, right? So I'll list up to 30 copies of a card. Everything else gets bulked out. Um, that's under a certain market price, right? Obviously, I'm not going to bulk out cards that are $5 plus, even if I have over 30 of them. But you get what I'm saying. So with that business model in mind, if you are going to do, if you are in the kind of list everything camp, especially for some godforsaken reason, you literally want to list everything. Like you want to have 300 copies of every card. God help you. I don't know why, but I do see stores that do that. It's a little crazy to me with the time commitment and everything, but whatever. A to Z is like nearly impossible. Just with the constant zippering, the constant pulling out old inventory, putting in new inventory. Um, it's not going to be for you, in my opinion. As someone that has done that, like I used to also list literally everything when I first started my business. I would literally list like 400 copies of every damn card I had, right? And I would zipper that in. It becomes a nightmare the longer and longer you do this. The more like older, stale inventory you have sitting around that you got to now keep re-zippering over and over again. Um, it's not great. Um, so that is pretty much like the only major con with alpha sorting. I'm just going to be honest. It's the zippering. It's the constant moving inventory around. It's a huge time sink, and it's a major negative, and that's why a lot of people, including myself, have gone away from alpha sorting. But the pros are there. The pros are fantastic. You know where every card is. It's very easy to train somebody, and you can fix mistakes in your inventory system a lot easier than with chaos sorting. Let's go over to chaos sorting now, right? Like the big craze. Everybody's a chaos sorting. Everybody's on Sort Swift. Just for record, if you guys see my last video, you guys know I did put the down payment or reservation for the Super Sorter Mini, which is made by Sort Swift by Micah. I am not currently on Sort Swift. I will be once this Super Sorter arrives in a few months or however long it's going to take. But I still do chaos sorting with TCG tracking, another platform. Tomato, whatever. It's still chaos sorting. So just full transparency there. Chaos sorting, huge pro is obviously you just keep listing inventory, right? There is no, I gotta, alphabetize this, set sort. Now, I will be honest, I still pretty much do set alpha sort everything, and then I chaos sort it. So in essence, if I get a bunch of, let me see, I don't have anything near. Actually, yeah, I was just working on some stuff here. So I have, let's see if I can show you this, guys. I have a bunch of, what set is this? Hidden Arsenal 6 Yu-Gi-Oh cards. These are all Hidden Arsenal 6, right? This whole stack. It's not much cards. It's like 10 cards in here. But for reference, I'm going to take this stack and I'm going to alphabetize within the set, and then I'm going to chaos sort it. Why do I do this? Couple reasons. The main reason is actually a lot of times when you get orders, it'll be a lot of orders from the same set. So it's just a lot easier if it just flows that way within your chaos sort. So a lot of people do this. They call it soft alpha sorting, and which is pretty much what I do. So I don't hard alpha sort. So pretty much all my V's will be together, all the A's will be together, all the B's will be together, all the C's, etc., etc. But they're not like strictly like, it's not like I'm alphabetizing within the A's, within the B's, within the C's, if that makes sense. It's just soft. So like A's go together, B's go together, C's go together, blah, blah, blah. The other thing that still is very helpful with, and why I do it, is because if you're dealing with a lot of bulk, or even if you're doing really anything, even collections or mass box openings, you're going to get a lot of duplicate cards, right? You're going to get 10 of this card, 5 of this card, even if it's higher value stuff. It saves time because you're just going to, in essence, be combining your duplicates, right? And so you're going to list, one Pikachu, and then 10 cards later you get that same Pikachu, right? You kind of skip that part. You put the Pikachus together, you list 2-3 Pikachus, and you move on to the Charizards and the Bulbasaurs and whatever other other cards. So maybe I'll do a video one day I probably will do a video on my exact process that I'm doing. before and into the chaos sort. So that is, again, back to the main point. The big pro is it's kind of an infinite trolley train system. It just keeps going. You keep going. You keep adding. Boom, 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 boom. Now, is it faster than alpha sorting, putting cards in? 100% yes. I don't think anybody will disagree with that. You don't have to zipper. You don't have to do any of that. What are the main cons to um, chaos sorting? Um, Con number one, and this really to me isn't a con, but I've seen other people say it, is they say it takes them longer to pull orders. I'm going to be honest, for me personally, and I've been the last few days pulling hundreds of cards per day for orders. My orders have been a bit heavier right now. So obviously, I'm doing this full time now. I'm getting more inventory listed. I'm turning over more inventory. I'm going to be honest. To me, I'm pulling orders faster than alpha sorting. But that was also because when I was alpha sorting, I got a little crazy. I ran out of room. I started putting stuff outside. If you guys watched that video, I had like a box here of stuff that was listed but not fully alpha sorted. It took me a lot longer to find cards. I will say though, yes, if you have everything fully alpha sorted, like correctly, it will probably be faster than pulling cards for chaos sorting. But it's not that dramatic of a time difference. And for me personally, it's actually been a lot faster with chaos sorting with pulling orders. So that's just kind of you know, a con that I've seen people throw around, but not me personally. Another actual like major con is currently, as of today, as I'm recording this video, if you are on TCG Player Direct or any program like that, chaos sorting is going to be really rough unless your volume is very low. For reference, I sell on Card Trader Zero, which is, for those of you who don't know, is literally TCG Player Direct, but another version of it. It's Card Trader's version of Direct, which is another platform that I sell on. I still sell on Card Trader Zero, but my pricing and my pricing isn't aggressive on that platform. I don't do a lot of orders there, but pretty much what happens when I have to send in my RI, my reimbursement invoice, they don't call it that on Card Trader, but whatever, is I pull all the cards from my chaos sort and then I resort them how Card Trader wants it, which is pretty much how TCG Player would want it. So if you do a lot of volume on Direct, or on Card Trader Zero or any other similar platform like that or program like that, chaos sorting's probably not it for you. Just at least as of today, maybe there'll be something down the line. Maybe TCG Player themselves will implement some type of chaos system. I doubt it, but that is a big con, is that Direct, probably a no-go unless you're relatively low volume on there. It just is what it is as of today. So, big con there. I guess another big con, and this is not necessarily a huge con, and again, this is another one that depends on your size of your store. So let me actually tilt my camera here. So this is you guys can kind of see that is not a real cat up there, I promise you. This is my setup, for my inventory. All my bins are pretty much full, more or less. I just filled them actually this morning with inventory. So when you have to refill your bins, and TCG tracking has a feature called assisted stock where it'll tell you, hey, you can fit X amount of cards in these bins that, and you only have, 50 cards in there and your bin limit is 100. So you can fit 50 cards in there and so on and so forth. That process, when you've reached the capacity of your inventory, like let's say you have no more room and like you only have one shelf or you only have one 5-row box or whatever, and you start having to refill bins, the process to actually stage those cards does take considerably more time now because you're going to different locations. You're going to, if I go, pull one of these boxes, each divider is a location, right? So, you're going in location 1, adding 5 cards to there. you're going to location 10, adding 20 cards there. You're going to location 64, 69, whatever, and you're adding cards there. So it's a lot more pulling and inserting and going to the next. You're not alpha sorting, you're not zippering necessarily, but it's like a slight version of it. So that is another, um, I guess, another con for chaos sorting. It's not terrible, but it is a increased time sink. But overall, like, for somebody my size, I've loved chaos sorting so far. I'm going to be honest. Again, I've done alpha sorting for 12 years. I've been doing this business as a side hustle for over 12 years, and I've always alpha sorted. And this is the first time I've switched to chaos sorting, and I blew up my whole inventory, redid it to chaos, and it's been great. One last slight con to chaos sorting, and I actually had this happen. You got to really pay attention where you're adding these cards into. I had a issue where for somehow, some way, I skipped a whole row of locations when I was going through it, and I was adding cards. And in my mind, I'm still adding to that one row, but in reality, in my software and TCG tracking, I was adding to a completely different row. And thankfully, I caught it, and it didn't end up being like an entire 5 row box. But I had to, you know, in essence, take out and remove it and relist it. And if you don't catch it and you keep going and you keep listing inventory with that error, it's going to mess everything up. All your inventory is going to be screwed up. And stuff like that is a lot easier to fix when you alpha sort. A lot easier to fix little mistakes like that. It happens all the time. With chaos sorting, they are easy to fix if you catch them early on, like I did. The longer you go, though, with these issues in your chaos sort, the more problems are going to creep up. You're going to get orders. You're going to be like, this card's not here. It's in another bin. You're not going to know where anything is. And that is, another downside of chaos sorting is you don't have you do have an exact location, but you get what I mean. It's not like an exact location. It's not alpha sorted. Um, so, and I guess final con with chaos sorting is if you do inventory. Like, I know there's some stores that do full-on inventory every year. They'll cycle count and recount everything. A lot harder or not harder, but more time-consuming with chaos sort. So keep that in mind for those of you who do that. But let me close out this video, give you my final thoughts on chaos sorting versus alpha sorting. Who do I recommend it for? If you are a individual seller that deals in cards, let's say that are not true bulk. Let's go there. Let's say cards with market prices of like 50 cents or higher, right? Cards that move regularly. You're not going to have stale inventory. I probably still do alpha sort. I'm just going to be honest. You still can do chaos sort, but if you're working in a smaller subset of cards, it's going to be easier and quicker to alpha sort because you're not going to have to deal with the zippering issues as much. You're not going to have as much inventory, and it's going to be a lot quicker to stage those cards, and then pull them for orders. You're not going to have that zippering headache. But if you deal with like true bulk, you're on the I list everything, or you just have such a high quantity of cards. I'm talking like, you're a bigger store. You should probably do chaos sorting. I would say anybody that's kind of mid-level and higher, I would do chaos sorting. Or if you're just naturally dealing with tons of bulk and you're not doing bulk lots or anything, like you're actually like listing the bulk, I would do chaos sorting. And now if you're a major like store or operation, like you've seen, like like RNG Games and all these guys, that one's a bit of a tricky one because it really depends on your staff, right? It's more of a training thing rather than like which system is better or worse. I still think chaos sorting would probably be the best for an operation that size, but there's going to be more of a learning curve with your employees. And again, any mistake, like if you have somebody that's doing orders for you and then something, or pulling orders for you rather, and they mess up some location and some bin in your entire, chaos store. And these stores don't have just one shelf of product. These guys have dozens of shelves or however their layout is. Um, it can really mess you up long term in your whole inventory system. But I still think it's probably the best thing to do. So again, just depends on your parameters. I've been rambling for like 20 damn minutes about chaos sorting. I just wanted to do a video where we just uh, sit down and talk, because this is kind of the big thing right now is with chaos sorting and sort swift and everything. So once again, yeah, I personally do recommend chaos sorting. I've been loving it for the month I've been doing it now. I've not had any major issues other than the one I did have that I caught. Um, and it's really sped up my process and has let me list and sell a lot more inventory. So thank you guys for watching. My name's Paul with P Shop Games. Make sure to like and subscribe.